is going to be Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like as soon as she gets the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all this.
Recall Sheryl Swoop's audacious statement that nobody wanted to play for the Indiana Fever.
In the Fever, we're like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
In the Fever, they were saying, y'all, that's not my point. There's a lot of other going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be. There are some new things happening there. There are certain key players on the Indiana Fever team who say, I don't want to be here. This is my desired location. Yes, that takes time to mature, as Natasha Howard abruptly interrupted the entire conversation by arriving in Indiana and demonstrating that Caitlin Clark is drawing genuine talent rather than simply attention.
Excited to also play with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, like the player that I also say stuff on the court to them when I'm like playing against them. But I'm happy that I'm playing with them, not against them no more.
I can't wait to play with Caitlin Clark as well. You know that when I'm playing against a player like Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, I also say things to them on the court. However, I'm content that I'm now playing with them rather than against them. Furthermore, this isn't simply anybody entering the room. We are discussing Natasha Howard, a 3-time WNBA champion, former Defensive Player of the Year, and one of the few women in the league who finished the previous season with 18 points and 7 rebounds per game. Thus, it's more than simply a clue if she's picking Indiana, collaborating with Clark, and expressing her excitement about it.
Yeah. I think it. Yep, there you go. Hey!
Let's go back a moment. The loathing for Clark was at its height in April of last year. As soon as she joined the WNBA conversation, people began to disparage her. And taking the lead with all the attention Clark was receiving, Sheryl Swoopes famously asserted that veterans wouldn't want to play in Indiana. It was implied that Clark's presence would cause a disturbance. Other players would prefer not to participate in one large media circus.
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay. But
I'm talking about more social media.
Okay. It's a turn.
Right?
It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right?
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right?
That shot didn't just fall short. It totally disregarded the way players actually think, as seen by the fact that the whole argument collapsed the moment Howard joined Indiana. A seasoned veteran with championship rings, honors, and options has decided to rejoin the team that selected her in the 2014 draft. That person is identifying possibility and taking action rather than avoiding attention.
A tremendous, not only tremendous player, but a tremendous person. And what she's done the last 9 years in her career has put her in the elite company of many athletes and many players in this league. So, I want to say thank you to Natasha and to her family for coming back to us. Because when a player returns to a place that drafted them, that's special.
This is an amazing player who is also an amazing person. Her accomplishments over the past 9 years have placed her in the elite company of many athletes and players in this league. So I want to thank Natasha and her family for returning to us, because it's special when a player returns to a place where they were drafted. She also chose us because she had the option to sign with any team, and Howard didn't sign discreetly. She expressed her emotions clearly and loudly during her first press conference. Being back where I started makes me feel like I was meant to be here, and my family and friends are thrilled to see me make a full circle. That individual is reclaiming a chapter and assisting in the leadership of the next one, not settling.
The way Indiana came at me with everything they promised me, and they keeping their promise, they sold me, and I took the bait for it, and I'm happy to be back where I started, and also being back with Coach, so and Kelly, and also Amber as well, bringing her along. It's just a blessing to be back where I started, and also for my family and friends to also see me back where I started at as well. It's just amazing and a grateful feeling to be back in Indiana Fever.
She didn't select Indiana because it was her sole choice. Rather, she did so because Howard had other options. She did so because she wanted to, not because she had to. Let that sink in. The club that Swoop said no one wanted to touch recently rose to the top of the league's rankings for one of the most reputable veterans.
That's a good one right there.
I'll be back like
Number 33, the original. Back at it.
Oh, Jersey.
Look, the original.
Right, we was with Adidas.
Look at that.
2014, y'all.
2014.
Right there. That's a good one. I'll be back at number 33. The original version of it, jersey with Adidas. You can look like the original. Take a look at that 2014 right there. Additionally, it wasn't merely a symbolic gesture when Howard was given her 2014 Fever jersey at her signing. Rather, it was a strong emotional moment. You could tell how important it was to her. It was about leaving a legacy rather than just making a comeback. A conviction that the unresolved Indiana story could now grow into something more.
Steph is always being on my butt about hustling, working hard. Do the little things, because the little things gonna take you a long way. And when I got the minutes that I played my rookie year, I took every advantage of it, and I'm happy to be back next to her, playing with her and her coaching.
Steph is constantly bugging me about working hard and hustling, but do the tiny things because they will lead to big things. Additionally, I made the most of the minutes I had during my first season, and I'm glad to be back playing alongside her and receiving coaching. This wasn't just a sentimental tale either. Kelly Krokoff, the front office for Indiana, made a smart move by confirming that Howard had always been their main objective. Krokoff stated right away that Natasha was the person we wanted because of her excellent morals, elegance, and team-first leadership.
But first of all, we have the people to actually do it. So my thing is, I'm happy, like I said, to be a part of this, and also bring the leadership and the desire to show this young group what it takes to win a championship. I have 3, so my thing is to show them you can't take no days off in practice. You gotta think, when you practice, it's the way how you play. So my thing is coming in, I'm just gonna show them this is how you work hard. So when you work hard, it's gonna be easy in the game. It won't be as hard. So my thing is just bringing that championship mentality to the locker room.
COO Amber Cox also didn't mince words. She made the quip, "Most people have a one-page resume. Natasha's is multiple pages long," when introducing Howard. In other words, this isn't a role player. They recently hit a cornerstone.
List of accomplishments are long. People say you should have a one-page resume. Natasha cannot have that. It is several pages. 3-time champion, 2-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player. I mean, again, the list goes on and on and on.
People believe that a resume should be no more than 1 page, but Natasha's list of accomplishments is lengthy. It's many pages. 2-time All-Star Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time champion, and Most Improved Player again and again. The list is endless. However, Howard's own clarification was what truly silenced everyone, not what Indiana said. The prospect of playing with a rookie sensation like Clark didn't make her shudder. On the contrary, she welcomed the attention. She said she felt privileged and thrilled to be a part of a group that values her contributions both on and off the court.
Day one, when I got this job, Kelly and I were on the phone, and we had 2 things on our to-do list: re-sign Kelsey Mitchell and bring back Natasha Howard. We have been focused on this day and this moment since the day we started this process.
I believe I started my work on day 1. Kelly and I had 2 tasks on our to-do list when we spoke on the phone: return Natasha Howard and resign Kelsey Mitchell. Since the first day of this process, we have been concentrating on now and this present. She even talked candidly about her changes since her initial stay in Indiana. "I've developed significantly both as a player and as a person," she said, adding that some teams didn't treat me with the respect they deserved. Being in a position where she is valued, where she matters, and where she can contribute to leading something exceptional is the goal of this shift. Show them Natasha Howard, a veteran winner with choices who walked right into the middle of the Clark period and said, "Let's get to work." The next time someone tries to argue that nobody wants to play in Indiana.
Sitting next to me is of high integrity, high class, great teammate. Players in this league love her. So welcoming her back, putting her on the floor with our guards, there's a reason why her nickname is.
That doesn't indicate division. It's a sign of confidence that a leader is supporting her new team and communicating with the league as a whole. Indiana is home, not just a tourist destination. Natasha Howard didn't simply join a team that appreciates her. She discovered Caitlin Clark to be her perfect jogging partner. This combo isn't typical. This game pits the most dynamic passer in women's basketball against an experienced player known as Flash. What Clark has been lacking in Indiana is Howard's exceptional ability to finish in transition. Howard and Clark were quietly developing what could turn out to be the most lethal fast break duo in the WNBA, while the detractors were busy fabricating stories about Clark's lack of likability. Additionally, Howard is already working out with her new team at the gym. What makes this pair so lethal, then? Howard is designed to take a break. She is the ideal target for Clark's bullet passes because of her touch around the basket and speed control. She was one of the few athletes to average at least 18 points and 7 rebounds per game the previous season. That kind of output is uncommon and precisely what Clark needs to reach her maximum potential as a facilitator.
Season with a minimum of 25 games played, Natasha Howard was one of just 13 players to average 18 points per game. She was one of 16 players to average 7 rebounds per game. And the list of players to average both 18 and 7 last year, short and elite. A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Napheesa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard. Versatility is a major.
Only 13 players averaged 18 points per game last season with at least 25 games played, including Natasha Howard, on the list of players that averaged both 18 and 7 rebounds per game last season. She was one of 16 players who averaged 7 rebounds per game. A'ja Wilson Stewart, Breanna Collier, Napheesa Natasha Howard, and Brittany Griner. Indeed, Howard's versatility is one of his main strengths. The Fever had the tools, but not the finishes from the previous season. Because her teammates were unable to keep up or complete through contact, Clark's passes frequently went unrewarded. Howard won't have any issues with that. She flourishes in that particular anarchy. She was excited to talk about playing with Clark during her first news conference. "I can't wait to run the floor and get those passes." That colleague understands, and we haven't even discussed what Howard is best able to defend. Throughout her career, Howard has placed in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times and was voted Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. Over the past 7 seasons, Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game. And it is precisely this adaptability that makes her a defensive weapon. Howard, however, doesn't stop with offense. Her defense is as deadly. Howard provides the answer for Indiana, which had one of the league's worst defenses the previous season. She has been a threat at every level of the floor for 7 consecutive seasons, averaging at least 1 steal and 1 block per game thanks to her nearly 7-foot wingspan and versatility. She alters the entire nature of the game rather than just playing defense.
Haven't yet touched upon what Howard does best: defend. Howard was named Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 and has finished in the top 10 of the Defensive Player of the Year voting 3 times in her career. Howard has averaged at least 1 block and 1 steal per game in each of her last 7 seasons. And that versatility is really what makes her a weapon on defense.
Knowing that Howard has their back, her presence encourages the younger players in Indiana to play more aggressively. Clark is already running the other direction with the ball when she swipes a steal or erases a shot, and Howard's defensive commentary guiding rotations and keeping younger teammates engaged is an example of the championship DNA being passed down.
wingspan and 6'2" height allows her to be disruptive defensively around the rim on opposing bigs too. In fact, Howard will enter the 2025 season 25th all-time in blocks in WNBA history.
They call her Flash for a reason. She suddenly shows up for fast breaks, putbacks, and thefts. Only when the recipient is skilled at creating space can Clark's accuracy as a passer be effective, and Howard is an expert at that. She is the perfect finisher in a high-octane attack because of her basketball IQ and footwork.
Caitlin Clark Flash Show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision on the court, because that's like as soon as she get the ball in her hand, she's throwing it up because she already see the person down the court before she even get the ball in her hand. So that's one thing I love about her vision on the court. I really can't wait to catch all those passes and give her all the assists that she needs.
What do you think of Caitlin's play, and especially during her rookie season? And what's an exciting level playing alongside someone like her who has completely altered the landscape? She can spread it forward by shooting, and as a point guard, she could dominate the floor. She's a fantastic passer, so I'm eager to run the floor and catch those passes. She's really improved over the past season in terms of how she approaches the game each day and picks up tips from other players. I'm thrilled to be a part of this team and am also prepared to catch her passes. Game strategy for these two will be a headache for the other teams. Pay too much attention to Clark. Howard is cutting your paint. On Howard's role, collapse the equation that Clark feeds corner shooters every day is unsolvable, and this is only the first step. Sheryl Swoopes had no idea what was going to happen when she attempted to make fun of the locker room problems remark. They created one of the most outstanding rosters in recent WNBA history, and that's no exaggeration. The fever didn't only catch Howard.
In particular, what do you see from her game during her rookie year, and just what's an excitement level playing with someone like that who has just changed the whole landscape?
She can spread the floor by shooting. She could dictate the floor as a point guard. She's an amazing passer, so I can't wait to run the floor and get those passes. She just grown just this past season, just like how she take the game day by day, and also just learning from other players and stuff. So I'm just really excited to be a part of this team and also ready to catch her passes.
Playing with my teammates and getting to know them both on and off the court is something I really want to do, because I want to know my teammates first and then get to know them off the court as well. They brought on Sophie Cunningham, a 5-time All-Star and certified champion, and Dana Banner, a 5-time All-Star. Sydney Carlson, a 2-time WNBA champion, provides the leadership and insight that young teams sorely need. That's 4 well-known veterans who are all open to working with Caitlin Clark.
Teammates, just getting to know my teammates on and off the court. Cause that's one thing I actually want to know. To know is my teammates first, and then know them